much for joining me, Sarah. I'm so stoked to have the BDM queen join me today.
Ah,
um,
that's so lovely.
I know that when I was a BDM, I needed someone like you in my corner. So that's why I reached out to you and asked if you would partner with me, because I feel like you are in a space that we need right now for BDMs in Australia. There's not a lot of option out there, and I think what you're doing and what I can see that you're doing is incredible. So thank you so much. And yeah, how did Rise come about? How long has it been? Can you tell us? Can you give us some
Thanks,
insight?
Shannon. Awesome to partner with you. I love connecting with like-minded people. I think you're amazing. So thank you as well. Rise was born over 2 years ago now, and I actually launched the business whilst I was a business development manager, which was super exciting and challenging in itself. And then the more impact and contribution that I had, I was really, found my purpose and was like, this is what I want to do. I want to help the industry change the stigma. But what I did find though is throughout my journey in property management as well and working with different businesses, there was still that lack of really that heart-centered care from someone, and that motivation, that inspiration, that accountability that also gives you the tools, the skills, the strategies, the scripts and dialogues. I think it's a combination of both. And I'm very much, and Shannon, about the holistic approach. So, our life is just our life, right? Our work and home and perhaps our family and our friends, everything is interconnected. So I wanted to bring something unique to the industry. I also think I filled a gap where I am not just elevating BDM's career, I'm helping them reassess what's important to them and their life, and elevating just them as an individual and as a human being. Because aside from being real estate agents, we're humans first, and just bringing that back and humanizing the BDM role.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's so important. If you're not feeling great within you, you can't give your best self, even if you really strive to, or if you really want to do well in your role in your career. If you're drowning, or, if you've not got your life somewhat in control, then I think, yeah, you can't do what you want to do, obviously. So giving that's incredible. And that's, I think, where you have really got that niche. Like, you've worked that out and you're giving that to your clients clearly. And that's what's made you have such an impact, I think. You need that. I have a coach myself.
Yeah,
And she's got nothing
same.
to do with real estate. It's just for my health and, yeah, fitness. And since I've done that, yes, I've lost weight and things like that, but my clarity and my mental capacity and just being able to grow further has just, yeah, it's been incredible. So yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Um, in terms of, we were talking, and you've written a recent blog post for me about networking trends and networking with BDMs and all of that. What do you think? Yeah, do you have a bit of an opinion on the recent sort of changes in networking, both online and offline? Like, how are you feeling about that?
It was an interesting space, because I had sat on this for a while, Shannon, and I'm all about, as much as I really want to support people, I also think that as individuals and BDMs, you got to take responsibility and have a look at your behaviors and actions that you're taking. And this is because I found what's happening is we're kind of in this paradigm where everyone's wanting to show up in the digital space, right? But then we're still in an industry where we need to focus on those relationships, in those in-person connections. However, where they're losing, or the balance isn't there. So they're either doing one or the other. So they're just all going on and focusing on their social media and their digital marketing. And then they're losing that touch of picking up the phone or having those in-person meetings with someone, or there's just messages going back and forth, whereas they could have actually had a conversation and got to know that person and their goals and their ambitions a lot more quickly, right? So
Yeah.
the reason why I wanted to to create this with you, Shannon, was because there's a place for both.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really important to know that there is a place for both. However, in property management, we are in a service industry where we are dealing with people. Let's not forget that. Yeah. We can have chatbots on our websites. We can have, online booking systems that helps us have those conversations with people. But I
generate
really
efficiency. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Efficiency, it's a great one. But efficiency allows us to then be able to have those more meaningful connections, those conversations. And BDMs shouldn't be behind, well, this is my view anyway, Shannon. They shouldn't be behind their desks. They should be out and about, meeting people, talking to people. And that's what I loved so much about being a BDM. And I still sometimes miss that because, yeah, I get out there and network as much as I can, or as a business owner now. But I love that every day I got to go and look at these beautiful homes or go to a really cool cafe and try new food, or, have a glass of wine with a potential client. Like, it was great. So I was like, let's not lose that human touch side whilst we need to be, networking, doing things online as well.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think like that is the main challenge is people are scared of kind of going out and just creating a conversation with people? I guess it's what are the sort of challenges that you're noticing with your clients? Is it, like they just don't want to go out and have that coffee and food and try and create conversation? Or do you have any sort of tips and things around that?
For sure. What I'm seeing is it's a time, right? Like everyone says, oh, I need more time, or I don't have time to go meet someone for half an hour or an hour. Whereas I know when, shout out to as well to Jared, I just did a recent YouTube recording with him, and he's the amount of referral partner meetings that he has in a week is phenomenal, right? Because he knows and understands that's what he needs to do to be able to have other advocates for him, right? So he's not looking at it as a time thing. He knows, okay, there's only so many hours in the day. What can I do to be efficient, automate what I need to do, right? Put my non-negotiable things in my calendar so that I am focusing on those connections. And I think we need to look at things in a different way. So daily habits, all right? What time are you going to be spending on doing your digital work or your digital networking, right? And the time that you're going to block out to invest in going to a networking event in person and doing some research, or yes, meeting up with a new referral partner for a coffee or for lunch. And dependent, like some meetings you might go for 15 minutes because you might meet with someone and go, okay, well, this isn't actually for me. It could be mutually beneficial that, it's not going to work. Or sometimes, like I remember some of my meetings were initially booked in for half an hour, would go for an hour and a half, because there was just so much synergy and the idea, and you're getting flow and it's creative. And I think when you can get to that point, it's a beautiful thing. I also think that as a society in general, I'm not just pigeonholing this into the real estate industry or property management, people are becoming complacent. They're hiding behind the fact that, they can just DM someone, on LinkedIn or on Instagram. They can put up these videos and just hope that that's going to attract all of these people. And yes, it might, but also there's a whole big world out there of people that are wanting to connect with other human beings in person.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that kind of resulted from a bit of like, I guess we've had like COVID, and then now I know in Perth, our investor market over here is just like insane. So, and a lot of the investors are over east. So for us here, there probably is a lot of digital and online, and we are behind the camera like we are now. Hopefully there's a lot of Zoom meetings going on at least. Sort of, do you have anything around how we or how BDMs could kind of, I guess, do better in terms of that communication, or that networking for themselves here with such a huge amount of investors not actually here in Perth? Like we definitely have them, I know a lot of BDMs, that's all their business now. It's just overseas or over East investors.
Yeah. Shannon, and for, people that are going to be watching this that aren't in Perth, they're going to be like, I wish we were in Perth right now. Cause yeah, your market it's nuts, the amount of growth and investors. So lucky you. For the other states there, and especially for my Vic clients, my Vic people, it's all right. We'll get back. We'll get back there. I believe it. So yes, completely. But it's not just getting complacent again with just sending that digital proposal because, Perth is doing so well. And yes, we're just going to attract, clients anyway. So we're just going to send them that digital proposal. It's still getting on the phone, getting on a Zoom meeting with them, right? I think that's still important. Even perhaps just an idea is they might not be in Perth, but what's not to say that you create an event, whether it's annually or every 2 years, that you invite all your investors to that event. It doesn't matter if they're interstate. If you're putting on this phenomenal event and you're bringing everyone together and continuing to add that exceptional value, that they won't come, right? So just an idea, it's giving that opportunity, because if you don't, well, of course they're not going to come, right?
Yeah.
But if you put on something saying, hey, we've actually never met you in person, we want to welcome, all of our interstate investors, and they can claim that on tax anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Good holiday, holiday option.
A good holiday in Perth, and Perth is beautiful. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, awesome. I love it. Good idea. Um, yeah, any other sort of tips? I guess we would move a lot to Zoom though, wouldn't we? Like in a, yes, yeah, in terms of those ones. I guess as well, I'm finding the top BDMs that I'm talking to, they're signing like 30, 40 managements a month. And I'm even like, how can you? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to do, right? So they've obviously got great systems and procedures and stuff like that in place. But yeah, that in-person meeting is definitely, I would say it's got to be lacking. There's no way that they could be signing those. Again, they're probably multiple investor and that sort of thing as well. So, but it is coming down to being, yeah.
I think if they are signing 30 to 40 a month, as a business development manager, they would absolutely have a leasing team. They would absolutely have a virtual assistant or remote assistant. They're probably not leasing properties; they're just listing them and getting assistance from the leasing team or the property management team, because that is a big volume of 30 to 40 a month. And I think, yes, you definitely need to be organized. They wouldn't be doing any administration as well, because I remember as a BDM when I was doing on average 20 month listing and assisting with leasing. So I wasn't leasing them, but I was assisting with the leasing process. Like that was a lot at that time.
Yeah.
And VAs was the thing then, but it wasn't as big as it is now with getting that remote assistance. So what I did have a lot of meetings. And I think that if we start steering away for having those interpersonal meetings, so whether it's via Zoom or whether it's in person, then how are you really truly getting to know someone, their motivators, their goals, and really connecting them on another level that's not just surface level, right?
Yeah.
Because I see so many times in investor groups that it's like their property managers don't care.
It's just transactional.
So if we want to, that's right. And there was a word that I said this year that's going to be big, and that is the care in property management, right? We don't want it to be transactional. In fact, we've already had a bad name for being transactional. So if we want to continue to have that care, well, we got to make time to continue to have those meetings with our clients, getting to know them, what their ambitions are, what their motivators are, what their goals are, so that we can understand them. If you don't understand your clients the best way possible, then that's going to affect also the messaging that you're putting out there to attract more of those ideal clients that you want to work with. Yeah. You've got to understand their drivers and their motivators. So I think as well, it's like, I'm all for the digital space. Like, let's do it. Let's embrace it, but don't miss out on the opportunities where you can catch up with someone in person, or you can have that, or you can FaceTime them, or you can just pick up the phone and have a chat with them rather than messaging back and forth or sending those multiple emails. Like, let's not lose that side. That makes the property management industry special. The fact that we can connect with so many people.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that sort of leads into like, where do you see the future of like, I guess that networking stage? I know in terms of like property management, we have so many options in like at the moment now that COVID's over, there's event upon event upon event, and we've got lots of ideas and options that are being floated around. And um, I think it's really important for BDMs to even just attend industry events to create relationships with each other and have that networking with each other, because there will be a day where that investor may not align with you and you would want to forward them on to somebody else, right? So that in itself is, would you say, is a networking opportunity too that I think BDMs forget about or don't want to do in a way?
Yeah. And we're still not yet there yet, Shannon. And it's surprising as an industry. So you'll hear a lot of trainers and coaches, and you'll see it now that there is more collaboration happening and partnerships forming, because we want to be the leaders for the other people in the industry. And industry events are a great one. I'm going to give a plug here if you don't mind, Shannon, but the BDM Summit, because Hermione and I put it together last year, and it was a sellout. And honestly, the best thing about that day was seeing BDMs talking to each other. And I actually had one of my clients the other day saying that they reconnected again, and it was a different state, that because they can have those opportunities to refer to each other, or just talk about the challenges or the lessons, or to hear about things that are working and what's not working. Like when I was a BDM, I remember one of the first things I did is I contacted one of the highest performing BDMs in that network that I joined, and wanted to know, what she was doing, how she was doing it, to learn from her. And it was grateful enough that I won the BDM of the Year award with her. So someone who inspired me, that I just took that initiative and called her and got to know her. It was really special. And I think more of that needs to happen, and in like corporate companies, if you look at their organizations and how big they are, but yet they don't even know the BDMs or the property managers, like perhaps 4 or 5 suburbs over, that they might not necessarily even manage. And I think there's huge potential being missed out there, and that network isn't really coming together and being connected, and perhaps missing out on opportunities. So get to know your people. And I think that's definitely, I think, what I'll see in the future, more people coming together.
Yeah, I think as well, in terms of obviously like Perth and us in WA, like surely another way for BDMs could be to reach out to other BDMs over East and start making connections with them, because there's no doubt those BDMs have investors that they can refer over to us. Like it's happening without them doing it. So why not try and collaborate and start reaching out. That's what social media is for. We're all trying to get on social media and start to promote ourselves, but actually do it in terms of lead generation and start creating those connections with other BDMs. That at the end of the day, we do marketing to create lead generation to get the dollar bills, right? So at the end of the day, that's what social media should. Yes, it's social media and it's social communication, but I think leverage it to the way that it's going to benefit you as well. And that might be reaching out, to great BDMs over East and another way.
Hit the nail on the head then about social media. Social media is a digital marketing platform, right? And ultimately at the end of the day, we're on there to utilize it as the tool that it is. And that is to attract and generate more clients that will turn into, more listings that will give us revenue into our businesses, and essentially as a BDM back into your pocket, right? So I think there's utilizing that platform and connecting with other people from different states, because there's a lot of movement, like you said, right now. People from Queensland, investors investing in Perth, or vice versa. Like it'll keep moving around in different parts, and having those online webinars then that you can do with other business development managers, or perhaps doing podcasts with other business development managers in different states, so that you're giving a overview of what's happening, not just in your state, but Australia wide. That's huge. I know that Ashley, is one of the few that does that or has implemented that. But if you think at how many property management businesses are out there, how many investors are out there, there's enough business for everyone to go around. So just because one person is doing it doesn't mean that you can't do something similar, and just putting your spin on it, your insights, talking about your market, connecting with your people, your tribe that you have found to connect with, to help each other and support each other and expand that network.
Sarah, I know, obviously, as I said in the start, I wish I had someone in my corner for the BDM side of things. And I think even just networking in general, it's always really scary when you're getting started. Like, I still find it scary. I love going to events and I love seeing everyone, but I still get nervous when I walk in there, and no one would actually think that of me, but it is, right? I mean, how can you how can Rise essentially help, I guess, just allow more of that to happen, increase leads for the BDMs? Like, I think you've got a program, you've got events as well going. Like, how can you sort of facilitate it all and help us move in the right direction for networking?
For sure. I'm really passionate about embracing the new as well as incorporating the old. So with Rise, we do have a community, and it's really nice to see BDMs coming together across Australia, New Zealand, and Tasmania in a Facebook group through the 8-week BDM program that I facilitate, which is full of lots of training, gives you lots of ideas on how to connect and network. And through that, it's just really nice to see friendships that have been forming between business development managers. So it is a great place. As much as the training is phenomenal, it's a really great place to network and connect with other business development managers. There's always things that are popping up that I do, but definitely check out the BDM Summit for this year. Is in Melbourne. However, we do have some Perth friends coming down, which is really nice.
So exciting.
You won't be on your own coming down from Perth if you want. So if you want that information, and we've got people from New Zealand, Queensland, New South Wales. So it'll be so great to just see BDMs coming together across the world. Really, it's phenomenal. So really highly suggest you come along to that and level up and connect in person with your fellow BDM community. So that's some opportunities for you. So whether that is online or in person, and just get involved in the BDM community. So just to be transparent, Shannon, as well, my BDM community group on Facebook is just for BDM. So if you are a director, I'm sorry, but we do not allow you in. there's lots of other groups, but it's just is for business development managers, because it's a special place for the BDMs to come together and to start connecting with each other there.
Yeah, perfect. I think that's important though, like, especially it is a role in itself, and there are certain things that they probably want to talk about with other BDMs that are experiencing the same things in terms of anything, I guess, in terms of their office or the market and how it's going, and they just want like-minded people. So I get that in terms of, I understand. Being a, director or business owner myself, I would love it if my team had a support network that I wasn't involved in, like you need to offer that, I think.
Absolutely
and
important.
Yeah. And in terms of your 8-week program, so that is obviously, is it more so like accountability and coaching and training and ideas? Like, is that sort of what's on offer for that?
Everything. I was like, training on steroids for business development managers, but it doesn't matter if you're new to the BDM role or you've been in the BDM role for 20, 30 years. There's something in there for everyone. I do take all my clients on a bit of a journey. So it is their personal and professional development, but yes, of course, it is designed to help you get more leads, attract more clients, generate more revenue. But with that as well, it is looking at what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, giving you tangible skills and strategies that you can implement straight away. And also, I'm a big believer of having the foundations in place. Like, it's great to continue to learn and grow, and you'll have different mentors and coaches, but there's some things that I believe that as a BDM, you can continue to do yourself without having to rely on a coach continuously. So it's great that I'm teaching them the foundation skills that they can have to review their own performance and continue to do those goal setting every year and really ensuring that they are achieving their goals. So there is definitely something in there for everyone, Shannon. But if anyone watches this and they would like more details, please let me know and we can organize a time to have a chat. Or if you're in Melbourne, connect in person would be great. And there's also information on my website too.
Yeah, amazing. Are you best to contact through your website or through Instagram or LinkedIn, that sort of thing? What's your best avenue?
I say whatever it suits you. I know everyone is different, but you'll find me on most platforms. But generally, typically, I'll use my LinkedIn and my Instagram most frequently, or just, send me an email or message me. My number is everywhere. If you want to call me or you want to message me, please, I encourage you to do so.
I think that's a good BDM tip, right?
Yeah,
Don't
for
leave,
sure.
don't hide your number. Be accessible and have that availability for everyone.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Sarah.
Pleasure.
I really appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, I love what you're doing, and I think a lot of Perth people will get a lot out of this as well, and just understanding that there's other options out there. Yeah, I'm sure you're doing incredible things, and I can't wait to see how it all goes and how the event unfolds for you as well this year. You're almost sold out, I think, anyway now, aren't you? So that'll be exciting.
We've got limited early bird tickets left for the BDM summit. So yeah, get onto it. It's a great one.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Sarah. Really
Shannon.
appreciate it. Thank you.